At idle, it could disappear into a row of company cars. At 8,250 RPM, it sounded like a qualifying lap had escaped onto the road. BMW put a naturally aspirated V10 into a four-door sedan, gave it 507 metric horsepower, and then made the car start in a reduced 400 horsepower mode every time you turned the key. Full power required a deliberate choice. That one detail explains the E60 M5. It was not merely fast, it was theatre-engineered into a business car. It is also one of the most dangerous used car temptations of its era, because depreciation can reduce the purchase price. It cannot reduce the complexity. So how did the same machine become both a dream car and a warning label? BMW unveiled the fourth-generation M5 in 2004, with the production era beginning in 2005. The previous E39 had already proved that a discrete sedan could carry a serious V8. The new car needed to move the idea somewhere competitors could not easily follow. BMW's target was roughly 500 horsepower from a naturally aspirated engine. The engineering logic was wonderfully direct: 5 litres, 10 cylinders, and more than 100 horsepower per litre. The timing made the association irresistible. BMW was competing in Formula One with V10 engines, and the road car used the same cylinder count and the same high-revving philosophy. But the internet version of this story often goes too far. BMW M later clarified that the S85 was not simply a Formula One engine placed in a sedan. The road and race engine blocks came from the same Landshut foundry. BMW calls that the only direct connection. The real achievement is better than the myth. BMW designed a road engine that had to behave like racing hardware while surviving traffic, cold starts, long journeys, and ordinary ownership. The result was the S85, 4,999 cubic centimeters, 10 cylinders, no turbochargers, and a red line of 8,250 RPM. European output was rated at 373 kilowatts, or 507 metric horsepower at 7,750 RPM. Peak torque was 520 Newton-meters at 6,100 RPM. BMW's original American release described the result as approximately 500 SAE horsepower and 383 pound-feet. Those numbers only describe the outline. Each cylinder had its own electronically controlled throttle butterfly. Double Van Os varied the cam timing. The 12-to-1 compression ratio helped extract more than 100 horsepower from every litre. The spark plugs also acted as combustion sensors through BMW's ion current system, allowing the engine computer to monitor knock and misfire cylinder by cylinder. This was a 5-litre engine that wanted revs, not an effortless low-speed torque wave. It built urgency as the tachometer climbed, and the last part of the rev range was the entire point. BMW did something equally strange with the power settings. The car started in P400, limiting output to about 400 horsepower. P500 unlocked the full engine, while P500 Sport sharpened the throttle response. In other words, the M5 treated 507 horsepower as a mode, not a permanent background condition. Official BMW figures put 0 to 100 km per hour at 4.7 seconds and 0 to 200 at 13.9. Standard top speed was electronically limited to 250 km per hour. With the optional M drivers package, BMW raised the limiter to 305. The S85 was not merely internet famous. It won International Engine of the Year in 2005 and 2006, and BMW reported 7 category awards by the time the 20,000th V10 for the M5 and M6 was produced in 2006. Then came the 7-speed SMG. BMW said it shifted 20% faster than the previous generation and offered 11 drive logic programs. In its most aggressive setting, with the engine near the top of the rev range, the interruption between gears became part of the drama. The car did not glide through a shift, it announced it. In ordinary traffic, the same transmission could feel abrupt and indecisive, especially when treated like a conventional automatic. That split personality is why the gearbox still divides enthusiasts. Driven with intent, it belongs to the experience. Asked to imitate a smooth torque converter automatic, it can feel like the car is arguing with its driver. The SMG also concentrated a lot of ownership risk into one system. Hydraulic pressure, a pump, actuators, a clutch, sensors, adaptation and software all had to cooperate. A healthy example can feel spectacular. A neglected one can turn a bargain into a diagnosis. The V10 gets the headlines, but BMW built the rest of the car to keep up. The E60 M5 used a variable M differential, hydraulic steering, large compound brakes, and electronic damper control with 3 settings. It wore 19-inch wheels, wider bodywork, fender grills, 4 exhaust outlets, and unique mirrors. Yet the shape remained restrained enough to pass as an ordinary 5 Series from a distance. Inside, the M5 mixed an early iDrive interface with M-specific displays, a head-up display option, supportive seats, and the M button that could call up the driver's preferred power, damping, steering, stability control, and shift settings. This was not a stripped track special. It was built to carry people, luggage, and a deeply unreasonable engine in the same journey. BMW proved the point in March 2007 with the E61 M5 Touring. Official BMW M figures list 19,523 sedans and only 1,025 Tourings. The wagon reached 100 km per hour in 4.8 seconds and made the whole concept even more absurd. Family car space, 5 litres, and 10 cylinders. This is where the legend becomes a buyer warning. Not every E60 M5 is failing, and no single internet checklist can replace an inspection. But specialist buying guides and long-term owner experience repeatedly flag the same areas. Rod-bearing wear is the issue most buyers know. On a high-revving engine with expensive consequences, documented preventive work and a specialist's view matter more than optimistic promises from a seller. The Van OSS high-pressure system deserves equal attention. Warning messages, oil pressure concerns, pump history, leaks, and service records should be investigated, not cleared and forgotten. The 10 individual throttles are controlled in 2 banks, and their actuators are another commonly reported failure point. Limp mode, inconsistent response, or stored faults need proper diagnosis. Then there is the SMG. The pump, hydraulic system, clutch condition, adaptation values, and shift behavior all matter. A test drive should include cold operation, full operating temperature, gentle maneuvering, manual shifts, and a warm restart. One clean pull through the gears proves very little. Electronics, dampers, brakes, cooling, oil consumption, tires, and ordinary age-related wear still exist underneath the famous engine story. BMW also recalled 2006 to 2010 M5 sedans in the United States over a positive battery cable connection, so a VIN-specific recall check belongs on the list. The correct buying process is not romantic. Start with a specialist pre-purchase inspection, scan every control unit, verify the service history with invoices, check whether major preventive work is documented, confirm recall completion, price the car only after pricing the deferred maintenance. The dangerous E60 M5 is not necessarily the one with the highest mileage. It is the one whose history has been replaced by confidence. Depreciation created the illusion that this was an old executive sedan. Mechanically, it remained an exotic car wearing a 5 Series body. The purchase price can fall, parts, labor, and diagnostic time do not agree to depreciate with it. The BMW E60 M5 is not legendary because it is easy to recommend. It is legendary because a major manufacturer once approved a 5-litre, 8,250 RPM V10 for a practical sedan, paired it with an uncompromising gearbox, and sold the result to people who still needed rear seats. Its flaws are not footnotes. The SMG, the maintenance demands, and the potential repair exposure are part of the story. But so are the 10 throttles, the escalating revs, the P500 button, and the moment an ordinary-looking 5 Series stops sounding ordinary. Buy the wrong one and the dream can become a financial endurance test. Buy a documented, inspected example with realistic reserves, and very few 4-door cars can offer the same mechanical event. The E60 M5 was BMW at its most ambitious, most complicated, and perhaps most unforgettable. Dream car or nightmare bargain? Tell us which side wins for you. Subscribe to Speed TV 21 for the engineering stories and buyer warnings behind the cars people cannot stop thinking about.